Hey guys, welcome to episode 10 of the 750 project bike build. And today what I want to try to do is I want to try to finish off the coolant system. It's been another scorcher, has been for a while, so it's going to be one of those things. I do a little bit of work, I'm going to go inside, cool off, have something to drink, come back out, do a little more work, go back inside. This is going to be one of those things. I have no idea how long this video is going to be, or what it all is going to entail. I really don't know. I want to take off these return pipes, one on each head. I want to do that, and there was something else I wanted to do, but then hopefully I'll start getting things put back together. Like I said, I want to definitely get those return pipes taken out because I'm going to be replacing the washers that are in there, the O-rings. But maybe I'll just start taking a few things off the bike. I want to bobber this out, so maybe I'll take off like the foot pegs or something like that, the passenger pegs. Yeah, I just don't know. I also might take the side covers that I bought. They have the 750 emblem still in there, and I actually want to take those emblems off. So I might also include that in this video too. It just kind of depends on how things go. So let's go ahead and get those return pipes off. Okay, this right here is what I'm talking about by the return pipe. The reason I call it a return is because the fluid, the coolant, actually returns back to the radiator from this point. It's cooled off the engine and it's returning. But in order for me to get this off, I need to get this breather hose for the carburetor intake taken off, because there's a bolt back there that I need to get to. So I'm gonna loosen up this hose, and I'm gonna start taking it out back there. Just like this. Now what size is that? Let's try an 8. An 8 should work. Hopefully I can get that on. I don't have enough room between the carburetor, so I'm going to have to go get my wrenches. All right, here's an 8. There we go. Hopefully I'll be able to pull this out without too many issues. Yeah. So this little O-ring right here is what I'm going to end up replacing. And since I'm here, let's see about, there's a bit of a goop around that area. So I'm just going to try to clean it off best I can without it falling into the system. Just trying to scrub inside the hole just a little bit. There's a little bit of dirt in there. That's it, it's looking pretty decent. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up around this pipe a little bit too. I haven't taken the that washer off yet, that O-ring. Clean up around this a little bit. I might actually take a wire brush to this end and see if I can get some of that corrosion off of there. I could also take my Dremel to it and wire wheel it. So I might do that too. All right, I think that one's good. So let's go around to the other side and do the other one. Okay, so my pipe that I'm wanting is actually what's connected to this here. And it comes down to here. Again, the bolt is back here, so I'm going to take off this air intake. And then kind of reach up here and pry down on this other side. There, got that one out. So that is my bolt right in there. Oh man, that one's stuck on. Oh, that is really stuck on. All right, let me get a little lube. I'm going to spray on there and we'll just let it sit. All right, one of the next things I want to do is I need to take this off. This is our coolant level doohickey thing. And there's a bolt way back there. It fell off somewhere. Oh, there it is. Fell to the ground. All right. So now I want to take this out. Okay, so the fluids come down all the way from here. This is the filler neck, the fill cap, whatever you want to call it. And there's a little hole drilled in there with this tube coming out, and it comes all the way down. It feeds down to the bottom of your reservoir. That way the system doesn't get too much pressure and have too much liquid in it. And then this fills up, and you can see that there's liquid in there. And then this hose here is basically just an overflow. So what I want to do, I could take this off if I wanted to, this plastic piece. So I could take this off. I might just take this all inside and clean it out. In fact, let's do that because, well, I'm getting hot. And this should be empty. There we go. All right, so let's take this inside and clean it up. All right, guys, I've been fighting with that bolt head right there for the better part of an hour. It is just not letting go. So I went down, I mean, I've been putting that WD-40 cleaner degreaser on it. I don't think that's really doing anything. So I had to go down, I had to buy another bottle of penetrating lube anyway, so I went down and grabbed one. So I'm gonna keep on dosing it with that. But for now, I'm just done. I'm just gonna keep coming out here maybe once every 30 minutes to an hour, just give it a little spritz. And maybe I'll grab a wrench and try to see if it breaks loose, but right now it's not, and I gotta be very careful. I don't wanna break that bolt off in the head, because that would be a real pain in the ass. So I'm gonna give penetration lube a shot and see if it works. Okay, it's hot out here anyway. I'm ready to go back inside. All right, guys, got this coolant antifreeze overflow container all taken care of, got it all washed out. Still looks a little dark and stuff in there, but it's actually stuff inside. I did put vinegar in here to help dissolve any materials that are in there, any lime or corrosion, rust type stuff, and that vinegar will help dissolve some of that stuff. It's been sitting in there for a couple hours. But what I noticed, you know, it was sitting in there the whole time, and I went to go dump it out, and I figure I'll just stand it up like that and everything will just start kind of spewing out of here. And not much was coming out. I was really kind of surprised. You know, I cracked open the top cover and then it started spewing out even more. It's like, well, put that cover back on and it stopped. It's like, well, it should be getting air through this hose. So I took the hose out and I blew into the hose, and man, there was a ton of shit in here. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just dirt and grime built up over years. Maybe some insects have died in there or whatever. But yeah, I blew out a bunch of crap out of this hose. And actually, I've got a little straw cleaner here when I do my dishes. And I was thinking about running it through here, but I don't want anything toxic getting onto that and getting into the straws that we actually use. So I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. It works now. There's nothing in it. So yeah, everything's working fine now. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys that I found some nasty stuff in this little overflow hose. So now I'm kind of curious on the hose that goes from the filler cap down to this, if there's anything caught in there. So I may end up taking that off and seeing if there's anything, you know, in there, you know, dissolved rubber or anything like that that could be clogging that from getting to the overflow. So I think I'm going to do that next time I'm out there, but it's not going to be today. It'll be another day. It's just too damn hot. All right, talk to you guys later. Okay guys, today I am working in the house instead of out there. God, it is so hot. We've been having this huge heat wave. It's been over 90 for like the past couple of weeks. I mean, it's been nuts, and they're predicting over 90s for the next at least another week. I think the lowest temperature in the next 2 weeks I saw was 87. But let me show you what I've been doing here. This is my derusting vinegar here, and as you can see, I have a piece in there, and you can see it kind of percolating, I think, a little bit in there. I think you can see that. But I've also put in the thermostat housing pieces in that same vinegar, and then I've been scrubbing it with a wire steel brush and getting all the corrosion and everything off of it. All the buildup that was around here, and that's what I'm doing in here. So yeah, I mean, these pieces have been coming out pretty good. So yeah, I'm happy with the way they're turning out. And I did go outside, and the long tube, kind of like this one, remember this one was all plugged up with goop, and the one that came out by the fill cap and came down to here, it was the overflow tube. I did pull off that overflow tube and checked it, and it wasn't clogged up like that tube on the reservoirs. The piece that I have in the vinegar now, it's the piece that connects to the back side of the housing, and it has a couple of those return pipes from the heads. It connects all that to the housing. So yeah, I'm just going to sit there. I'm going to soak this for probably maybe a day and a half and see how much rust will come off of it. And yeah, whatever's left, I'll just take my steel brush to it and clean it up. Okay guys, I'm still working on the radiator, and what I'm doing is I'm taking the little fittings that I took off the bike, and I'm putting them into aluminum black. This is kind of like a blue steel or something like that, but it's black and it's for aluminum. Now, I've never done this before, and I hope I'm doing it right, because I did the first one. It's not bad, but I mean, you can tell I missed a spot, and there's some areas that are just not covered well, and it looks more brown than it does black. But you know, that's what I want to do, because when I dipped them in vinegar to get all the rust off of them, all the original blacking came off, so I'm having to redo them. But let me show you how to do it. All right, so what I've done is I've taken degreaser, sprayed down the part, cleaned it all off, took a wire brush wheel on my Dremel. You could also use just steel wool and really try to get it as polished as possible. So I think that looks pretty decent. Then I took the degreaser again, cleaned it off, rinsed it out under cold water, and now I apply the blue. And all you gotta do is just take a Q-tip, dip it in there, and you just kind of paint it on. I am trying not to get any of the stuff inside of the tube. I just want it on the outside. Again, I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. But it's actually kind of interesting just to sit there and watch it turn colors, you know? It's really neat. Now I can see where there was some copper brazing that they did, kind of like a copper weld. And the copper does not take this stuff very well. So I don't know what the stuff is that the factory used, but this stuff here, it's coating fairly well. I'm happy with it. Get down into all the little nooks and crannies. If you want to know what this is, it's almost more of a metal protectant. It will help protect it from rusting and just other corrosions and stuff. So it's not bad. God, it's so hot today. We've been in the middle of a freaking heat wave. And it's just so hot. All right. I'm gonna dab a few more places here and there, make sure everything's well coated. And you definitely don't want to get this stuff on your hands. That's why I'm working with gloves. You can see how it did not cover some of that brass stuff, but I mean, it's not horrible either. So I'm just going to let it sit. So after you let it cure, you just run it under cold water, kind of wash it off, and you get something that looks like that. It's not bad. It's not perfect. It's not great, but you know, for my first time, I'm kind of happy with it, really. I want to see if I can take and touch up some of these spots that I think I may have missed, or just basically almost give it another coat. I don't know if you can or not. So yeah, I just kind of touched them up just a little bit. Try to get all the little shiny parts. And again, I'll just let it sit for a minute or so and try to cure a little bit. Okay, I'm going to say that was about an hour. Run it under cold water. And so yeah, I mean, you can see there's a lot of stuff that's not covered. I don't know if it's because of that brass stuff that's on there, but I'll set this aside and I'll give it a second coat after it dries. All right, so the second coating on this one seems to have gone fairly well. It's still glossy and wet from just being rinsed off, but I mean, I think it's better. I do think I'm able to rub it off with my fingers. So I'm trying not to touch it too much. So I'm going to just let these things sit and dry for maybe 10-15 minutes, maybe a half hour, maybe an hour or something like that. And maybe I'll come back and give them another coat. Because I think that this one pipe, after I gave it that second little touch up, it does look better. So I'm going to let these dry for a little while and I'll come back to it. And I gotta tell you too, guys, this pipe here, it's the return pipe for that rear cylinder, the one that I said was leaking. So then, yeah, this one here was the back of the thermostat where all those return hoses were coming in at. But the return hose that comes out of the head for the front cylinder, I can't get that damn thing out. I've pretty much destroyed the bolt that holds it in. I'm trying different penetration lubes and stuff like that. I've almost rounded off the bolt to where a wrench isn't going to do anything. I need to use vice grips or channel locks or something like that on it, something that I can really torque down on. But I'm just having no luck at all. I spent 3 days straight just going out there, penetration lube, give it a little squirt about every maybe hour or 2 hours, all day long. I would do that, and then by the end of the day I would go out there and I would try my wrench. You know, now my wrench has rounded it off because it's not moving, so now I'm trying channel locks and it's still not moving. So I've gone out and I bought a different type of penetrating lube. This is more of an oil, and hopefully it'll really get in there and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. I've seen this stuff work on other things, and why it's not working for me, I don't know. So I think I'm going to actually end this video here. You saw me take off most of the hoses and all that stuff. You saw me doing the bluing, which, by the way, that liquid, I believe you can still use it. I can just dump it back in the container. It's dark, but I can still use it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to give those probably another coat of bluing before I am actually finished with it. So hopefully in the 3rd episode of this coolant system thing, hopefully I'll start getting everything all put back together. Hopefully I'll even get that that other return line off. It's just frustrating me, it really is. So I'm going to end the episode here. This is Mark saying thanks again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I will see you on the road.